Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It is your creative, weird friend Cat Sketch, who's a makeup artist who loves creepy, spooky, fantasy things. Here to bring you another video. If you're new to this channel, subscribe because we do videos every Monday and Friday doing beauty makeups, effects makeups, body paintings, storytelling of creepy, spooky things. So subscribe if you want to see more of that. And today we're going to do a chit chat. Get ready with me. A little chill sesh of makeup. Trying a brand new palette. If you love food and makeup as much as I do, this Glamlite Street Taco palette might be for you. It's my first time trying this brand. I've heard so many great things about Glamlite. They are known for the hamburger eyeshadow palette that went viral. They are known for their makeup artist like paint looking palette. They recently released and launched a ice cream truck palette that looks amazing. But since this is my first time dipping into this brand, I wanted to get something petite, tiny, pigmented, bright, colorful, and fun. So I got the Street Taco palette, and look at these colors. They just screamed a little bit of spooky Halloween with the oranges and greens and some spooky purples. So we're gonna do a look today. I want to do something that looks like a crescent moon on my eye using some of these. Definitely orange is going to probably be in there. We'll see what happens while talking about some spooky Disney stories. Yes, you heard that right. You know me, I love Disney, creating spooky effects on Disney characters, and I came across this magical land on this Facebook group. I'm part of those paranormal Facebook groups where we talk about real life ghost stories that we may have encountered, and I came across almost like a subreddit type section in the Facebook group of paranormal activities that I'm involved in, where, girl, it was about scary stories that actually happened in Disneyland told by the workers. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. I'm gonna read you guys some of these stories that I found because they're all spooky, and most of them seem to happen in the bathrooms at Disneyland and Disney World. Like, what is the stitch on that? Moaning Myrtle, are you here? Moaning Myrtle isn't Disney, Cat. Is it Disney? I don't think so. No, it's Universal. Anyways, that's beside the point. I'm probably gonna do my eyeshadow first and then my foundation. We're gonna do those steps because it's a bright, colorful eyeshadow look we're gonna do today, Luke. And I don't know what the formulation, since it's my first time using these eyeshadows, so I thought, why not do the eyeshadows first, dive right in case there's fallout, patchiness. I could switch my look before diving into foundation that I already know it's gonna work on my face. Ooh, I gotta put this weird, I call it the slug serum. It's a 3 skin pollution defense. That's for like pollution defense, and it hydrates my skin. And it's $130, so I feel like I should use it. Anyways, this stuff is weird. But let's talk about even weirder, the Haunted Mansion. One of my all-time, maybe my all-time, definitely my all-time favorite ride at Disneyland and Disney World. I haven't been to Disney World, and we need to change that in I don't know when the world's gonna get back to normal. Anyways, it might never. Tears, literal tears. But, like I said, this first one is from a worker in the Haunted Mansion's women's restroom. Did you see my little space buns? My little Mickey Mouse ears that I put on today for this video? Did I plan that? No. Was I lazy and just didn't want to do my hair? That's a definite hard yes. I like this sponge. I don't know who it's by. I think it's by Colourpop, but it takes all the foundation and leaves none on my eyes. Let's switch sponges. So this Haunted Mansion worker got a new sponge, the original OG Beauty Blender. I don't know if I like this one. Anyways, this Haunted Mansion worker, she always gets asked, is the Haunted Mansion actually haunted? And she had a resounding answer of a yes for people based on this experience. Oh my gosh, I don't know if she has a fake name on Facebook, but I'm not gonna give her last name, but her first name is Dynasty. I hope this is real. But she has pictures, but that could be just Googled. Anyways, let's get on. I'm gonna dip into Repollo Rojo. I'm butchering this name, this purple color in this palette. She says personally on 3 occasions where she's been on or assisted on where she's experienced paranormal activities on the ride, working there, especially of people leaving ashes of real life dead people on the ride. I heard that that was a thing. I had a feeling it was a real thing, and apparently it is a real thing that happens. People leave their dead friends, relatives' ashes on the Haunted Mansion ride. Why would you do that, sis? I understand that was their favorite ride, but I don't want my ashes being stomped upon thousands and millions of stranger tourist shoes. Maybe you do, but I don't. And although the ride is dark for the tourist eyes and for everyone that is trying to see blindly in the Haunted Mansion ride, it's pitch black dark if you've never been on. It's like staged up as this house, mansion, and inside is really dark with all these ghost scenes, and you're in this like weird contraption that looks like an egg beetle coffin, and everything's completely dark, and as a visitor you can't see anything, but the people that work there could see everything. They have these special cameras that allows them to see in the dark very well, like extremely well, everything that the guests do on the rides. Anywho, her very memorable haunted experience came from one night at a guest accessible restroom at the Haunted Mansion. There is a restroom located under the ride, and there's a staircase or stairwell to access the restroom, and overhead you could see the doom buggies while you're going down to the restroom. That's what those beetle-like, coffin-like contraptions that you ride in on are called. Doom buggies. When it's around Halloween time, the Haunted Mansion is, I'm guessing this is the California Disney park of the Haunted Mansion, because it's themed up as the Nightmare Before Christmas, so they have to have an extra control room just for the electronics that go with the overlay of the Nightmare Before Christmas on said ride. I'm gonna use the color Picante, this bright orange color now, right here. But when they're not doing the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay on the Haunted Mansion, that control room is just a pitch black dark room. Sounds spooky. That's, I'm guessing, is next to the bathroom. And then one night she had to get a flashlight to go near the control room to go to that bathroom that's underneath the ride and have her last like checkups on everything on her job. And as soon as she got off the staircase to go towards that bathroom, she saw a woman standing there facing the wall. And this woman was wearing a Victorian dress. She was so beautiful with striking red hair and a blush tone, like I said, very detailed oriented Victorian dress. She said the dress was so detailed that it had roses on it with big like flared out sleeves, like almost like it had like the petticoat thing under it. Ooh, maybe I'll put, let's do some shimmer over this orange. Her hair was curled and she had a pretty cream hat on. Like, she knew all the details, all the stops and fashion that this girl was putting, that she ran into near the bathroom in under the Haunted Mansion ride. Most people, when they see someone like with this much fashion and all the stops and weird clothes, would think it was odd, but at Disneyland there's so many different people there. They have so many different events with guests there. She just thought it was like a guest who was there for an event or a meet and greet or something, so she didn't think really anything of it. And since she had to pass her while going close to the restroom, she said, "Excuse me," and while she was passing her, well, trying to, the energy of the room shifted into a weird, dark sense. And it was like a heavy energy, and this woman was staring right at her, and it was very unnerving and just weird feeling. But she wasn't moving as this woman was trying to walk past her, who was working at the Disneyland ride. So she ended up walking right through this woman with the weird dress staring at the wall underneath the ride in the hallway. Walked through her, literally through her body. She said every single fiber of hair on her body stood up on its end, and it was hard for her to breathe. Sounds like one of my panic attacks. That happen weekly now, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. But she didn't look back at her, she just ended up trying to walk through the hallway. Not sure what she just saw. But when she got to the end of the hallway, she glanced back to try to find this woman, see if she was still there, and lo and behold, she was long gone. When she got to the control room, it was flung wide open in front of her. It just flung wide open. Terrifying. When she attempted to step through the door of the control room, she felt hands, pressure, pushing her back on her chest. And it was like she was walking or trying to walk, but struggling and walking in place from the pressure, the amount of pressure, whatever mysterious thing was there pushing her on her chest. Terrifying. Something, whatever it was there, yanked her back out of the control room doorway, and the door to the control room doorway slammed shut again. She felt like there was no oxygen and she couldn't breathe. She was like struggling to gasp for air. And as soon as it all happened and she was able to move again, it all just stopped completely. And once she seemed like she was freed from whatever was pushing her back and holding her back, she just ran out of there. She wondered how something so beautiful, whatever woman she saw there, the entity, could be so like have menacing evil-like qualities. This is the dress she was talking about, what it looked similar to. And then of course here's the picture of the haunted mansion. So terrifying. And it's just, do you think this is real? Like, I kind of believe it, because I wonder if it was that landmark was made the haunted mansion for a reason. Like, what if it was already haunted before the haunted mansion was even built there? That's what I want to know. Okay, this was probably one of my favorite stories, and it's located at the Big Thunder Mountain. And oh my gosh, I hope this isn't a joke, because it's made by the same person, just realizing this now. But she worked custodian, well, I guess it makes sense because she worked custodian at Big Thunder Mountain as well, in the women's females restroom. So here's what happened there. I really hope this girl Dynasty, whoever is making these on Facebook, is not playing me, because a lot of the stories I realize are from her. Hopefully we get to the ones from her as well. She looks like a normal human. Like, I looked at her Facebook thing, I'm not gonna expose her, but she has children and a man. Like, she looks normal, you know? Doesn't every crazy person look normal? I mean, I listen to enough murder mystery podcasts to know that, you know, crazy people look normal too. Anyways, that's beside the point. So one night she was given custodial, why is that so hard to say? Restroom duties near the tavern, Red Rose Tavern, which is near Big Thunder Mountain at the Big Thunder Ranch barbecue restaurant, right? It was near there. Gotta powder all this with the Danessa Myrick's Evolution powder, which is the best setting powder. And this restroom closes at dusk, so she was on her last rounds of custodial duty at these restrooms. And she says it's usually extremely creepy, extremely quiet and dark whenever she works these restrooms and when she's closing at night, because they have to close at dusk. I mean, I would be terrified. Sounds like she's doing it alone too, which I would not. I'd be like, hey friend, I would make a friend, hey friend. But then maybe Disney's policies aren't like that. I would still try to make friends, be like, hey, let's close this Disney restroom together. So the stockroom closet door that she had access to was right near the entrance of this restroom, where she had to get, you know, her supplies to close and clean. She got all her supplies out, made sure everything was stocked and ready for the next day. I'm tapping into Limon from the Street Taco palette, the bright green. But when she returned to stock the closet to put her closing notes on the restroom for who's ever working the next day, she heard little girls' laughter, screaming, and pitter-patter of little feet in the restroom. And she also heard water running. And these were some of the only restrooms that didn't have a sensor to run the water on the sinks in the whole entire park at Disneyland. So you'd actually have to turn the handle to even make the water run. Old school style, baby. I'm gonna go into Guacamole from this palette. It's like this shimmer green. And at first when she heard all this, she was really annoyed because whoever was in there was going against rules when it was obviously closed, and she had to remove said person who had gotten into the bathroom after hours when it obviously said it was closed, like there were signs and everything. So she actually left the stock closet and went to go check it out, but automatically the noise of everything stopped, which she was confused, but she went and stopped the sinks because they were running, and all the stall doors were open to the restroom. And as she was walking towards these open stalls, they all of a sudden slammed shut, and she felt suffocating, and she felt like a sense of evil. And it isn't a cat sketch video unless you highlight your upper cupid's bow lip. This is Felxitarian, of course, by Colourpop, which is my all-time favorito highlighter. You know what I might do? I might layer some of that sparkly orange on top of it to make it extra spooky season. It's almost like she couldn't breathe and she gasped and ran when she could get away. Ooh, I like the mix of the orange with the sparkly. She was so terrified that she actually had one of her male other co-workers come with her to get her stuff and like do the last rounds there because she was so terrified, and she actually was never scheduled to work there again, luckily. And this one is probably definitely, I think, my all-time favorite. It's again from Dynasty. I hope she's not tricking us, but it makes sense if she has all of these custodial Disneyland stories. If she's working custodial scheduled at Disneyland, she could probably work at different rides and at different areas within the parks. That's what it seems like in these stories. So let's get started on this one. This one probably creeped me out the most. One night she was scheduled at the New Orleans restroom on a Saturday night, which is really busy. And most of the time it's a lot of waiting for other people to finish using the restroom, and the stall closet is located all the way in the back on this restroom. It's a very odd layout, so she has to go all the way back there to start her rounds. She got halfway through her rounds and ended up at the ADA stalls. I'm thinking and assuming, I don't know what ADA means. I'm not that bright. It might be wheelchair accessible, in my opinion. I'm not sure. Both ADA stalls were occupied. Did I just make up a word? Anyways, she heard children's voices saying, "That was fun. I like that too. Should I ask?" And she knocked on the stalls because she was given a strict time limit and over 7 minutes had passed, and she was gonna ask if the children are all right because it seemed like 2 children were in there. And at this point the talking stopped and a guest behind her distracted her and was talking to her at the time, which happens a lot. She gets distracted, and a lot of guests could lock the doors from the inside but not always know how to unlock them, so that's why she also knocked for help. So since that happens frequently, she politely knocks on the door, asks if they need any help kindly, and there was silence. So she kind of looked between the cracks of the door, the cracks that I hate between every US public restroom door. It's like they put a gap so big that you could fit a wallet through it. Anyways, she looked through that crack and saw a creepy woman staring her right in the eyes through the crack of the restroom. She was just standing there glaring at her. She had a long black dress with long black sleeves and long black hair. And the woman's face was oddly pale, and she panicked. She said, "Sorry," and she just moved along with her cart of custodial work within the restroom. And she took a mental note to take a safety sweep check of the restroom later on in her schedule. Probably that stall. But she thought about it and it was creepy, like why was she standing there? And as she was walking away from that creepy woman in that stall, the stall door flung open and a little girl came running out, smiling happily. The little girl looked at her, waved and smiled, so the custodian worker, well, Dynasty her name is, she waved, you know, smiled back at her, and she was headed towards the sinks. The little girl was, that was all smiley and happy. And when she looked back at the stall though, she still couldn't see that lady that she saw, the creepy lady with the pale skin, long black hair. She couldn't see her anywhere. Where did she go? What? And at that time she saw another woman coming towards her from the changing tables with a newborn in her hand to grab that little girl's hand that came from the stall, the mysterious stall of creepiness. She's assuming, I'm guessing, that that's her mother, and the woman asked the little girl what took her so long, and then the custodian lady, Dynasty, asked her what happened to the lady in the stall. You know, the one that was with her that was staring at her from that stall. The woman stopped and looked at her and said, "What lady? What lady was in there with my little girl?" And the little girl replied and said, "Oh, you could see my friend too?" Excuse me? When children have imaginary friends, a lot of people think it's cute and stuff, but to me it creeps me out to no end, because I believe in the spiritual world. Just do, always have. And the little girl was like, "Mommy, I told you about my friend, the friend that I talk about." The woman didn't say anything more, didn't look at the girl, just went up and left, and Dynasty, the custodian girl's skin crawled. I mean, it would with my skin would crawl too. I need to get something better than my fingertip to put on rhinestones on my eyes. She definitely felt weird vibes after that, and she wonders to this day what really truly happened, because that's the end of the story. And this next story that I have to tell you about is from an actual, not a worker, but a visitor of Disney. Scratch that, Disney World, the one planet I haven't been to. But this is from a different person in case you don't believe in dynasty stories. Because I'm always skeptical even though I believe in things easily. And her name's Michaela. And this is crazy because she's older now, but she remembers a story from when she was 11 going to Disney World with her family. They were standing in line probably an hour or so to actually get into the entrance of Disney World. And she remembers multiple lines. There were single files like there are usually at Disneyland too to get through the booths to get to the entrance of Disney World. She was walking with her brother talking mindlessly about the rides, what she wants to see, what food she wants to eat, all that stuff. And around that time she felt a weird stare, like you know when you feel someone staring at you and you can't like shake it, but it's just that feeling that someone's looking at you? That's what she felt. And there was a woman in the line next to her, and she glared at her, and at one moment she looked normal and fine, the woman did, to Michaela. And it was like the next moment she looked angry and could not stop staring at Michaela. Like it just changed. She never stopped staring at her and she tried to brush it off. But a few minutes later, this woman was not only staring at her and creepily, angrily, but grabbing her and trying to pull her towards her. This sounds like something awful from a creepy horror movie. And Michaela looked at this woman that was like yanking her towards her, and her face looked different, almost like it was morphed. And was it a demon? It looked evil. What was it? It looked like a completely different person than the woman she remembers that was just her, that woman. And at that moment, her mom yanks her back. These lashes are bomb. They're in the style Sabrina from Dollar Lash Club, of course, my favorite lash brand. And no one seemed to notice except her and her mother that this woman was there, but she doesn't know like what her mother really saw. And even the brother that was right next to her didn't see this. Her dad and sister didn't see this or what happened. It was just weird. She's wondering if this has happened to anyone else. Like she's wondering if she's crazy, if this experience of morphed stuff happens to other people at Disney World. Just so weird. I love this lip so much. This is in the color Mink from Clinique. Alright, I'm gonna do my hair and I'll be right back. And like that, we're completely done with this makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I absolutely loved the Street Taco Glamlite palette. It is totally worth the money. It makes me want to buy more of these palettes because the quality of the pigmentation, they're easy to blend, is outstanding. As you can tell from this look, it's gorgeous. This reminds me of like the Hocus Pocus girls for some reason, like the color palette. Oh, I'm so ready for spooky Halloween season. All the products I use in this video will be listed down below in the description box. As always, subscribe to this channel if you want to see more beauty makeups, effects, makeup videos for Halloween, spooky season, body paintings, all types of creative fun looks and creepy stories being told while we do it. Thank you friends so much for watching. Leave a comment down below if you've ever experienced something creepy, spooky, and haunted. It doesn't even have to be at a theme park. I have more of these theme park creepy stories to come, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that because I feel like talking about more. These are like my favorite. I hope they are for you too. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.